Good morning, students. Today we will discuss about one important concept of Indian economy, that is your population growth and its effects. This has been the major concept of Indian economy because nowadays what are the problems, what are the socio-economic problems we are facing, that is purely due to that our population growth. Let me tell some statistics about Indian population. Currently we support population of 135 crores. The annual average growth rate is 1.64 in 2011. In 2001 it is 1.93. Just let me very clear. Every year, each and every year, we are creating 2 new crores of population to our existing population. What happened? After independence in 1951, almost we have a small number of population. It's mostly 36 crores. But after independence, our population has been growing at a consistent rate and at a large scale. The main reason for our population growth is purely due to high birth rate and low death rates. There is a theory regarding population explosion, regarding population, that is the theory of demographic transition. Now, India is passing through the stage where our feature is that high birth rate and low death rate. When we get independence, our population growth was not being so much. At the time of independence, we have not contributed so much to our population because by that time we have high birth rate and we have high death rate. Just I am repeating once again. At the time of independence, our birth rate is high and our death rate is also was high. Because why our birth rate was high? Our birth rate was high due to illiteracy, due to ignorance. People prefer big family. That is why they go for a high birth rate. Why death rate was high? Death rate was high because due to lack of medical and health facilities, people died in many numbers. That is why by that time we have high birth rate and high death rate. So what is the result? The net result is less increase or low increase in population. But in course of time, somehow due to improvement in medical and health facilities, we have been controlling the death rate. As a result, the death rate has been declining. The death rate has been falling. But on the other hand, we are unable to control the birth rate usually. That is why there is a big gap between high birth rate and death rate. Now we are having high birth rate and low death rate. This is the point of justification why now we are having a high populous country in the world. Next to China, we stands at number 2. China stands at number 1, almost having a population of 140 crores, and we stands at number 2 with a population of 135 crores, and our annual increase is 1.64% in 2011 census. In practical, we are creating 2 crores of new population to our old population. Just let me tell you one point here. The total population of Australia is only 2 crores. The total population of Australia is only 2 crores. They are being standing at the top of the quality of everything. They are standing at the top of quality of everything. But our population stands at quantity, or our population doesn't stand at quality. Australia population with a 2 crores and our population is 135 crores with a growth of annual 2 crores to our old population. This is the clear picture why we are being standing at number 2 of population country in the world next to China. Population is a positive source when it is under control. When population becomes a negative source when it is not under our control. So the second point applies to India. In India, population is not under our control and now it acts as a negative factors. Now, rather realizing the positive effects, India economy is realizing the negative impacts of population growth. We will discuss how does population adversely badly affect, badly damage economic system. Whatever efforts we are putting after 70 years, I told you, for example, in Indian planning, we have started planning in 1951. We are doing so many things. Till now, we have implemented 12 5-year plans. Government of India is putting hard effort for in every plan. Government of India is putting targets. Government of India is trying to achieve that target. But whatever the government is trying, whatever the government is investing, everything goes in vain due to huge population explosion. So now we will focus. If we discuss about the effects of population, then we can clearly say how actually it negatively affects our economic system. Population growth really badly affects our economic growth or our economic system. Because I told you, population growth up to a point, it is a positive factor. But beyond a point, it becomes a negative factor. Let me tell you, population, when come with population with the support of knowledge, skill, training, can be a positive factor, like in Australia. But population without knowledge, without education, without quality, now it stands as a negative factor in Indian economy. So this is the starting part of our population growth. If we focus about the effects, the negative points of population growth, we will say that low per capita income. We can write the first point that arises, the first point that comes due to population growth is your low per capita income. Per capita income stands income per one individual. Per capita income refers to income per one person. How you calculate per capita income? We are calculating per capita income by dividing total income by total population. So we are getting income per one individual. But if what happens, if your population rises more than the rise in total income, then your per capita income falls. And that is the case of Indian economy. In India, national income rises, total income rises, but unfortunately, the rate of population sometimes exceeds the rate of national income growth. The rate of population growth dominates over the rate of national income growth. That is why our per capita income remains very low in comparison to advanced countries. Might be we are not having the problem of population explosion, then now India somehow stands as a developed countries of the world instead of underdeveloped country. But due to vast population explosion, we have low per capita income, and now we are sorry to say that we are standing at a underdeveloped or developing country in the world. So population first really badly impacts the per capita income, because it is the income, it is the national income or per capita income that actually identify your country, that actually recognize the position of economy. But due to low per capita income, we are going nowhere. Due to low per capita income, people are unable to fulfill their basic needs. As a result, the problem of poverty and unemployment continues after low per capita income. Low per capita income is one of the points that leads to so many basic economic problems. Itself leads to so many basic problems. Low per capita income leads to low capital formation. Low per capita income leads to low saving. It may lead to low investment. It may lead to low fulfillment of low basic needs. It may lead to low purchasing power. So we can say our population explosion, our population growth is now on such a stage that leads to low per capita income, and which really badly affects our economic system. If you go to second point, for example, we can say increase in unproductive consumers. This is also a very practical point to understand the negative impact of population growth. Now, to understand the concept of second point, you have to understand the difference between productive consumer and unproductive consumer. Who are known as productive consumer, who are known as unproductive consumer, right? Take for example, in our economic system, we have three category of groups, three age groups, for example. One will be your child age group. It starts from 0 to 15 age, we can say. Then we can say your young age group. It starts from 15 to 59. Then we have old age group. It starts from more than 59 years, for example. So our population basically comprises all these groups. Child age group starting from 0 to 15 years, young age group starting from 15 to 59 years, and old age group starting from more than 59 years. Now, let me classify, let me tell you who are known as productive and who are known as unproductive. Obviously, definitely it is now clear, this picture, the persons, the child, the category which belong to 0 to 15 years, obviously they are unproductive consumers. They don't have much to contribute to the production system. They cannot contribute to the production system. That is why they are the first group to be identified as unproductive consumer. You got it? Child age group is the first age group who are known as unproductive consumer because they cannot contribute something as an income to the society, something as a production to the society. That is why they are known as unproductive consumer. Their job is to only consume. They can't contribute towards production. So they are the unproductive consumer. Second, I will tell you about the old age group. People who have been, for example, crossed the age of 59, almost they are waiting for their last phase. They are also known as unproductive consumers. They have little or less, they have nothing to contribute to our production system. That is why they are known as unproductive consumer. We cannot expect something from the old age group. Are we? We are not expecting. We are not expecting something from the old age group. That is why they are known as unproductive consumers. Then we have left only one group. This group is known as your young age group. It is the group where we can expect some income. It is the group where we can expect some earning. That is why they are known as productive consumer. In also, if we categorize this one, for example, if we categorize this one out in the age of 15 to 59 group, there will be two categories. One who is unemployed, one is who is unemployed. It is not being clear that all the persons belong to the category of this one. They are only working. Persons, there are some persons also not working. So they will not be considered as productive consumers. So in the group of 15 to 59, those who are working, they are only called as productive consumers. In the age group of young age group, only those who are working, only the persons who are getting income, they are called as young age group. Though they are called as productive consumers. So we can say they are called as basically productive consumers. But when a population growth takes place, actually, it is the immediate rise in child age group. When you are saying that India adds 2 crores of population each and every year, what do you understand? When we are telling India adds 2 crores of new population to our old population. So basically what we understand, now we are adding 2 crores of new child to our old population who are basically known as unproductive consumers. They are not productive consumers. So simply population explosion each and every year, 2 crores of population each and every year only adds to the category of unproductive consumers who ultimately depends on the productive consumers. They have to depend on the productive consumers. And they don't have much income. They don't have the income. They are not in a position to get some income. This is the problem of Indian economy. See, just understand. I am connecting how population growth leads to the creation of unproductive consumer who have to depend on productive consumers for their survival. In fact, our national income is very low. In fact, our per capita income is very low. And with a low per capita income, now the second problem comes that the number of unproductive consumers is very large. As per 2011 census, the ratio of productive consumers is 39.3%. The ratio of unproductive consumers is almost 60.7%. You just compare that. The ratio of productive consumer is how much? 39.3% out of total 100%. And the ratio of unproductive consumer is 60.7% out of 100%. So from the data, you just see how much pressure they build to our economic system. And they are nothing but and this group mainly consists of that 2 crores of new population. That in that group, we have taken 2 groups. One is your child age group, one is your old age group. And basically this group consists of the newly added population. The new population that has come in each and every year, they belong to the category. So we can relate that huge population explosion each and every year is a force, it pressures the creation of unproductive consumers, which actually ultimately depends on the productive consumers. They don't have anything to contribute. They don't. Can we expect some income from a 10-year child? Can we expect some income from a 5-year child? We can't expect. But they have to seriously depend on the productive consumers. But productive consumers have low income. We have seen from the first point. From the first point, we have seen population in India, due to population pressure, our per capita income is very low. So, first point is that they are having per capita and low per capita income. And second point is that with low per capita income, they have to support that 2 categories. That is your child category, that is your old categories. This is the biggest problem of Indian economy. So, after going to second point, next we will go for third point, that is food problem. We have to survive at any cost, although our population grows at 2 crores of population. We have to maintain our basic needs. We have to fulfill our basic needs like food, clothing, and shelter. Among the 3 basic needs, food comes first. If you consider about basic needs, food, clothing, and shelter, if a person doesn't fulfill those needs, then we are telling that person as a poor. We are considering a person as poor on the basis of basic needs. Some person unable to fulfill that basic needs, then we are telling that person is a poor person. So the first requirement of the basic need is your food, which is really a big problem due to population explosion. Due to population explosion, our availability of food also declines. It is due to we are mainly 50% of our population depending on agriculture. 50% of the population depends on agriculture. Although they depend on agriculture, the production remains very low. The majority of our population depends on agriculture as their source of livelihood. But the actual contribution, actual output that we should come, that is not being satisfactory. Data says that almost our production is almost 51 million tons in 1951, which has been risen to almost 200 million tons in 2001. This impact, this 4-time increase in food grain production is due to the implementation of Green Revolution. We can thank to Green Revolution that is being implemented in the year 1965-66, that our production has risen 4 times. But on the other hand, comparing to the production, we have increased our population. Because I told you initially, in 1951, our population is 36 crores. And now our population is 135 crores. In 1951, our population is only 36 crores. But as of now, currently, we stand a population with 135 crores. So comparing the population, this food grain production is not being sufficient. And also, second point is that regarding food problem, I can say due to population explosion, the per capita availability of land also declined. Per capita availability of land declines. What is the meaning of this one? Per capita availability of land. Land availability for one person. If population rises, for example, if people are staying in a joint family system, they have to divide tomorrow. If they divide, the land also got divided. Due to such a division of lands, people are not able to use that efficient science and technology in the field of agriculture. We can't efficiently use our technology in small or marginal lands. That again takes the problem of food grain production very severe. So we can say population explosion is also one more factor that is really responsible for food problem. Coming back to next point, we will say the problem of unemployment. This is the biggest challenge in India economy that is come due to population explosion. Might be we are not having the problem of population explosion. We cannot, we say we cannot experience the problem of unemployment and poverty. But due to population explosion, the problem of unemployment is very severe in India. We can't neglect that all the countries are not suffering from unemployment. All the countries of the world, they are suffering from unemployment. All the countries of the world, they are suffering from poverty. But the magnitude, the volume of poverty and unemployment in India is very severe in comparison to other countries. And this severe thing and this problem is basically due to the problem of population explosion. So, explaining further, unemployment we can say that is being seen in rural area, that is also seen in urban area. Wherever we go, we find unemployment. We have structural unemployment, we have cyclical unemployment, we have technical unemployment, we have seasonal unemployment, we have disguised unemployment, we have educated unemployment, we have underemployment. Wherever we go in India, we find unemployment that comes due to high population growth. We can estimate approximately in around 2001, we have a backlog of unemployment that is 36 million. Almost the backlog of unemployment, I'm telling about the backlog. The backlog of unemployment is almost estimated around 36 million in 2001. Government of India is putting heavy efforts. Government of India is putting very sincere effort. Recently, Government of India has introduced one program for that, that is PMKBY, Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana. But whatever is happening, Government of India is doing hard effort. But the population increase is such a severe that we are not able to adjust with the population the unemployment with. So the problem of unemployment becomes very severe due to huge population growth. Explaining the effects further, we will analyze some other points from where we will be clear about the negative impact of population growth in Indian economy. Just to finish our discussion by stating the problem of unemployment that comes due to poverty. Next to unemployment, we can write that poverty. Poverty is one of the also problem that also comes from population. Poverty and unemployment, they are twins. They comes due to the problem of population explosion. 2011 census data reveals that almost 21.9% of Indian people are living below poverty line. In 2001, it is almost 37%. We can see that surprising fact. There is a percentage reduction. In comparing to last 10 years, we can say we have reduced the percentage of poverty, living below poverty line. But you will be surprised that in 2001 and 2021, we have increased our population. In 2001 to 2011, we have increased our population by 20 crores. So although the percentage has declined, although the ratio has declined, but the quantity has not been declined. Because in between 10 years, we have increased our population by almost 20 crores. In 2011, our population stands at 121 crores. In 2001, our population stands at 102 crores. See the change. We have almost added 19 crores of population between 10 years. But we are seeing that the ratio has declined. The ratio has declined. We can predict that due to the decline in ratio, we can assume that our poverty has been declined. Not like that. The ratio has declined, but the population has been increasing. On one hand, we are increasing our population by 19 crores, but it seems the ratio has been declined. So the problem of poverty is also very severe in India. Due to such type of huge population growth, many people are falling below poverty line. We have a concept that is called BPL, below poverty line. Due to below poverty line system, due to that system, many of the population are still living in below poverty line. If we talk about poverty, the ratio is very severe. The that interrelation is very clear in rural and urban areas. In rural areas, it is more, and the urban areas, it is less. For example, regarding that poverty. Next to poverty, we can say that poor quality of human resource. To understand the concept of human resource, poor quality of human resource, first of all, you should be clear what is human resource. What do you mean by human resource? So, we can call a person as human resource only when that person have enough education, enough knowledge, enough skill, enough training. Then only we can call a person or individual as human resource. As long as a person doesn't possess enough education, enough skill, enough knowledge, then he cannot be a part of human resource. Education and health are the two criteria that identify a person as human resource. But poor people, due to huge population, many people remaining under poverty line, they cannot afford their children to go for better education. Due to poverty ratio high in India, many people are living below poverty line. So they cannot afford to send their children to well-educated schools or college. As a result, the quality of human resource also lies below our performance. If you talk about the human resource of advanced countries, in those countries, the human resource plays a key role, and they are really contributing to the growth of their economic system. But in India, the quality of human resource is very low due to our poverty and due to our population explosion. So this is the point we can justify under the uh, heading of population growth. Next, we can go for that poor medical and health facilities. Government of India is putting much effort since independence to improve the medical system. 1951, our death rate is high. If you see, we have clearly diverted our picture of medical science, our medical facility, right from 1951. In 1951, there was high death rate, but in 2011, there is low death rate. You see the difference due to that. By that time, there was high death rate. Now it is low death rate. So we have transformed our death rate, we have reduced our death rate due to improvement in medical and health facilities. But the thing is that the pressure extra population, that surplus population adds a problem to medical and health facilities. The per capita availability of bed, the per capita availability of doctor per persons in India is very low in comparison to America. America has better per capita doctor and patients availability, per capita bed and patients availability, but we have got a low per capita availability of medical and health facilities in India. That is purely due to our huge population explosion that we have been continuously seeing for last 30 to 40 years. Then also you can point out that low rate of capital formation. Right from independence, we do not have sufficient technology. We do not have sufficient capital in India. We are poor because we have less capital. We can clearly say we are poor that due to less capital. Still now we are depending on foreign technology. Still now we are depending on foreign capital. 1991, we have gone for the policy of liberalization, privatization, globalization. It is nothing but we are inviting foreign technology, foreign capital to flow to India because we do not have sufficient capital. We do not have sufficient capital in the sense our saving, our investment is very low. It is the due to low per capita income. Low per capita income leads to low saving. People do not have sufficient income. As people do not have sufficient income, the saving capacity of the persons are very also low. Why the saving is low? Why the capacity to save is low? This capacity to save is low due to population explosion. When just for example, when a family support a member, three member with an income with a limited income, If after some time, if the same family has to support the 5 members with the same income, definitely the saving, the rate of saving, the rate of investment will be also declining. So, due to low per capita income leads to low saving, and low saving leads to low investment, or we can say due to such type of vast explosion of population, the rate of capital formation in India stands at very low level. This is your low rate of capital formation. So we have seen that poverty is there due to population explosion. Then we have seen that poor quality of human resource. Then we have seen poor medical and health facilities due to population explosion. We have also explained the concept of low rate of capital formation. Then explaining further the impact of heavy population growth on Indian economy. We can say that housing problem is also one more problem that comes due to huge population explosion. See, we have every country have the limited land availability. We can't increase the land availability, but the geography of every country is fixed like that. The land availability, the land area of India is 2.4% of total land area. And we have to support population 16.7% of world population. See the difference. We have to support the population of 16.7% of the entire world population. We have to, but on the other hand, we have the land area of 2.4% of the total land area. So due to such type of gaps, due to such gaps, the problem of housing comes very severe. For example, due to such type of problem, the housing costs in metropolitan, in urban cities increases very often, very often, and in urban and in metropolitan cities, the rate of housing goes beyond the expectation. The pressure always goes on increasing, and due to housing problems also, the land which remains unutilized, the land which remains uncultivated, now we have to bring them for use. And I'm repeating, on one hand, we have to support a population of 16.7% of total world population. वर्ल्ड पॉपुलेशन का जितना होता है, इंडिया का कितना, उनमें शेयर कितना है, 16.7% in terms of population. But in terms of land area, land availability, out of total land area, we have only 2.4% of the land area, and that we can't also increase. Land area of every country is fixed. We can't go beyond that. Can we occupy to China? Can we occupy some land of Pakistan due to our population explosion? We can't do that. But on the other hand, population has been increasing day by day, every year, each and every year, as I told you, 2 crores to our new population. Due to which the impact, the pressure on land becomes very severe, and the housing costs remains very severe, goes on increasing, especially in urban and metropolitan cities. This is the biggest problem now we are facing in 21st century in Indian economy. Coming down to next point, we can say imbalanced development. I can say development can be fruitful if it is balanced. Development can be useful if it is balanced. If development doesn't benefit the entire society, it is not being balanced. It is imbalance. If development, if you say that we are developed, then it must satisfy all. If it doesn't satisfy all, then it is not called true development. So that is what India has been facing. It is imbalanced development. It is not being balanced development. 50% depends on agriculture. Remaining 50% depends on industrial and service sector. So the advanced countries, they have witnessed 10% of the population depends on agriculture and 90% depends on industrial and service sector. But in India, it is not being like that. In India, 50% still depends on agriculture, and due to such population explosion, the dependence on agriculture goes always increasing each and every year. We do not have proper balance of development among the three sectors, among primary sector, among industrial sector, among service sector. Our development is not being balanced. That is why we are facing a severe crisis, severe problems of such type of imbalanced development among the three sectors. Whatever the population rises, the pressure builds on the agriculture. That is why we have crossed 70 years of planning, but still 50% of the total population are depending on agriculture as their source of livelihood. Coming down to last point, we can see the increase in price level. It is a common problem that must come when we are supporting with 135 crores of population. This is a very unique, very common problem, because when we go with a population of 135 crores, when we support a population of 135 crores, then definitely there will be a pressure on the prices of essential commodities. And due to the price pressure of many population, due to the pressure on essential goods, the price level also rises very severely. We can't stop that. Although we are making heavy efforts for that, central government is planning something, central bank is planning something. Although due to the combined effort of central government and central bank, we can't stop. We can't stop the increase in price level as of now. Because due to population explosion, how can we expect? We are seeing that 2 crores of population are coming each and every year. Definitely there will be pressure on the prices of essential goods, because if you actually understand economics, there are two factors. One is demand, one is supply. When you talk about demand and supply, there is no question that within a minute, within a short time, demand can increase, but within a short time you cannot increase supply. Supply is somehow limited, but demand is not being limited. So due to such type of gap between demand and supply, price level goes on increasing. Because why demand increases? Demand increases due to the pressure of 2 crores of new population. But supply cannot be increased due to our limited resources. We can't increase supply to meet the demand of the 2 crores. That is why there is always a gap between the demand and supply. And that leads to the rise of price level continuously over a long period of time, and we are failed to control such type of inflationary situation. And in the coming days, we should be ready, we should be prepared that our price level will go to a certain level that we cannot control with that. So we have seen many points that will justify your statement that population growth in India is a negative factor. It is a retarding factor to economic development, unlike developed countries of the world. In developed countries, population in those countries is a positive factor. They contribute a lot to economic development. But in Indian economy, population explosion is not a positive factor. Rather, it is a negative factor to our economic development. And in coming years, if we are unable to control the population under our control, then population growth, population explosion will seriously damage our economic system. Thank you.